Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 29th. This week, we're going to jump right in here. You have this exchanging gifts card. It says there's a dance of give and take. What you give, you will get back. You have this angels are watching you card. It says there's nothing to worry about. The angels are watching over you. So you are protected at this time. You have the Ten of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords. The Ten of Wands, of course, can represent burdens or can represent even other people's burdens that you are carrying. So I would make sure that you are releasing other people's burdens here, or other people's, whatever. I don't know what I was going to say, but, if you're carrying too many responsibilities, it might be time for you to kind of release some responsibilities so that you can be more effective, especially right now. Mercury retrograde is not a good time for wasting energy or, giving too much energy to other people. You barely have enough for yourself. So I think that it would be a good time to, create those boundaries or set healthy boundaries with all people in your life. And that will probably help you feel more energetic. I do feel like you are kind of like at the finish line here. The story of this card is that he planted those wands and he's about to reach his home back here and he is about to have a harvest. So there could be a harvest or that you're about to have. And you also have the Queen and King of Pentacles, which are both great cards of abundance and wealth. And I feel, again, some of you could be creating more wealth through not only putting down burdens, but reaching a finish line. You have the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness. You and your opposite sign, Capricorn. This is Capricorn, but you always get this card, both of you, which is pretty interesting. And so a lot of you could be very focused on, gathering resources or becoming more resourceful. And I think that thinking from a perspective of resourcefulness would also be very helpful for you right now. So instead of like wasting money or spending money, think about, how can I get something cheaper or better? Or, can I go couponing or whatever you do, right? And I think just a little bit of effort as far as resourcefulness is concerned might be a good idea. I always tell people it's like, even if you're doing something like buying a car, it's like, don't accept the first price, just say no, right? And, even just like little things like that add up over time where it's like you're kind of like saving money here and there and over here, right? And, I think that's what the Queen of Pentacles is talking about, is just like those little things will really make a big difference. We also do have love here. So you have the Two of Cups. You have the Queen and King of Pentacles, so these two are divine counterparts. I really like these two together because they're two people who want something long-term. They're two people who really want to put in the work. Two of Cups would say this might be someone who's different than your usual type. And everybody's been getting the Two of Cups for the past couple of years. I think it's because love is changing. It's like, the energy of love is changing. And so a lot of people are just, discovering a person who's different than their usual type. And it might be something minor. It might be like maybe normally you like dark-haired people and this person has light hair. It might be, very subtle. But you have the Two of Swords, and right now, again, if you are dealing with a person or if you're interested in a person, I feel like there needs to be movement. Part of the challenge here might be that you don't see a way to bring it together. She has this island behind her, and she's thinking this or that, but really there's another way that she could bring a situation together in her life, and she just needs to stay open to all the opportunities. And you even have this options card in your next row. It says many opportunities are becoming available to you. It says take advantage of every opportunity. Let curiosity open your mind. So I think that for a lot of you, this is saying there are actually multiple opportunities that this, if you are looking at a person or if you're interested in a person, there's multiple ways that this can happen. It's kind of funny we go up to the Nine of Swords. And again, I think that some of you, if you want love, could be fearing that you're going to repeat a mistake or that being with a person is just going to be the same as being with the last person. And I feel like this is saying like, no, it's actually going to be totally different. That's for those of you that want love. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Ten of Wands. Wouldn't be a Cancer reading if we didn't have 900 repeating cards in a row. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction or doing things differently. He is looking at the resources that he has gathered normally on a traditional Seven of Pentacles. And he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it for me to keep putting energy into this thing that I've been growing? Or is there something better? I do think we're in a time where everybody should be asking themselves, like, is there something better? Is there a better way for me to gather resources? Is there a better way for me to create resources? And again, again, this doesn't have to just be money. This could be time. It could be effort. It could be love. It could be whatever. But I think that asking that question could really provide a lot of answers for you. I do feel for a lot of you it is financial for obvious reasons, this right here. But there, I think there are better ways that you could improve your finances, and I would definitely look into that. With the Two of Swords, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like, I think also the other problem is that everybody is looking at the world right now as it is, right? Which is totally understandable. But I think there's another world that exists that is full of different rules, that is full of different ways of doing things. And we just have to open up to new ideas and new ways of doing things. And we will step into that new world. I've been talking about this for years. That, it's like everybody's waiting for something to change, but it's like, I don't think it's like no one is going to come out and tell us, oh, things have changed. We just have to start entering into that new world. And, I'm not making a statement on like what's right or wrong here, but I think it's interesting at this time that we have like cryptocurrency, for example. It's like a new world of money. And I'm not suggesting that you waste all your money on, Pizza Coin or Dogecoin or whatever, right? Again, do your research. There's a billion scams going on in crypto. So obviously that's not what I'm suggesting, but what I'm saying is that it is interesting that at this time, that's what has appeared, it like another way, right? And I don't even know, like, again, trust me, like I love Bitcoin to death, but one thing I will say is even me, it's like part of me is saying like, is it too good to be true? Or is it a scam? Or is it a crazy AI, software or something like that that's going to screw us all, right? So there are a lot of doubts, but at the same time, I think that we should be looking for new world opportunity. And I feel like that's what this reading is saying. I'm not saying that you have to invest in Bitcoin. And what I am saying is that I would be open to just other ways of doing things in your life, your job, your business, your career, all sorts of things. And there, like I said, there's like a million examples. There are people, like there's this guy on TikTok who mows people's lawns, and he makes an absolute fortune just putting the videos on TikTok. He saves overgrown lawns, basically. So he's doing something that would normally, pay a decent amount of money, but not a ton, but he's making a ton of money, doing something that normally wouldn't make a ton of money. Again, this is what I mean by old world, new world. It's like there is new abundance available for everyone, but we just have to get it, right? You have this motivator card. It says, motivate yourself to better your finances. They need rescuing. There you go. You have this options card. It says, many opportunities are becoming available to you. Take advantage of every opportunity. Let curiosity awaken your mind. So I think that there are a lot of options. There's a new option coming in for you. And again, this doesn't even have to be love. The Two of Cups can be you and your higher self. This right here is a Staff of Hermes. And the Staff of Hermes is Mercury, just represents communication. And so you could be communicating, or your higher self could be communicating with you, trying to get you to understand, like, hey, even if you just mow lawns, there is a way to make an absolute fortune and bring a ton of abundance into the world, right? And you can do great things with that abundance. Every time I say this, someone in the comments is always like, oh, it's not all about money. I'm like, well, yeah, actually it is, right? I hate to tell you, but last time I checked, we need money to pay bills and to buy food and things like that. And I believe that we should make as much as possible so that we can do as many good things as we want. Again, I think we're over the age of the evil billionaire. Now we need good, positive, spiritual billionaires to exist who know how to work with abundance and know how to make other people abundant as well. So again, I don't think this whole oh, every billionaire is evil, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, yeah, true. Some of them have been. But they've gotten us to this point where we can now all do it. We have to do different things to do it, and we can be spiritual billionaires, right? Because everybody should live in abundance. We don't have to live in like whatever their stupid freaking plan is, where they want us to live in little boxes and they want us to eat bugs. Terrible idea, right? Trust me, you will be miserable if that happens. So I think that it's time to fight, and by fight I mean we have to go the other direction. We have to build something better, a better vision. And I feel like this Two of Cups is saying like and especially I think you being a Cancer, I think it is the water sign's job to show the world that there is a better way to live. So, when you think about it, not to go on a rant here, but water signs, are always seen maybe as like meek and, kind of quiet and not speaking up. But I think it's the opposite. I think it's time for water signs to, again, show the world that there's a better way to live. And that is your duty here, Cancer, with this energy. I also feel you could be attracting love into your life. You have the King of Pentacles. Could be a King of Pentacles person, someone who is very, abundant or successful in their own right, and someone who puts in the work. Like I said, I like these two together. I like the King and Queen of Pentacles because they really want to put the work in. They really want to make something happen. I also kind of like don't like them a little bit, so we'll see what comes up. You do have the Knight of Wands here, which kind of adds a little bit of excitement, but sometimes the two can be not very exciting. But again, we'll see what comes up. You have the Justice card. Didn't something say balance or something like that in here, or am I making that up? I think I'm making that up. But anyway, I think creating more balance in your life would be a good idea. Balancing out your energies, balancing out the things that are happening around you, all that other stuff would be a really good idea. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Pentacles, no movement. I think this is a problem that maybe either you have your eye on a person or they have their eye on you, and there needs to be communication, movement, or something like that. The fears need to be overcome with the Nine of Swords. And so if you do, if you are interested in a person, then, this could represent making your move. I would also say that if you have an idea or you want to explore an option, that this would be, that the Knight of Pentacles would say it's like time to get a move on. Yeah, with the Two of Cups, you have the Nine of Swords. So we already said this, that, as far as love is concerned, I think your old love story is getting in the way of a potential new love story. The Nine of Swords is like having a nightmare, waking up and being stuck in a nightmare. So it's like you're fearing that something will be a nightmare again. And I feel this is something that has to be overcome. With the Justice card, you have the Chariot and the Ace of Swords. You have the Chariot twice, so again, more repeating cards. And you have a ton of repeating cards already. The Chariot is a victory. The Ace of Swords is a victory, so I feel like you're about to have a victory if you open up to it. The Knight of Pentacles says, if you plant that seed, then you will have the victory. The Knight of Pentacles has those empty fields behind him, and he just needs to start planting seeds in those fields, and they will grow. So I think that you're about to have a victory, but you have to put the work in to make it happen, or you have to take that first step. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this card. It says survival and power. You also have this bear. It says strength and resourcefulness on it. We were talking all about resourcefulness. I think it's an amazing time for resourcefulness and an amazing time to, not waste a bunch of money on things, right? So I think that being resourceful would be a good idea. I would be looking for deals. Again, that popped into my head when I said the car thing. I'm not saying you're buying a car, although you could be. You have the Chariot twice in your reading. But it's I wouldn't accept the first price or the first thing that comes up. And so, that's what I would do here. One of my favorite books of all time is by Chris Voss, and it's Never Split the Difference. He was a FBI negotiator, and, he tells a story in that book about how he went to buy a car, and he had, a price in his mind that he would pay for that car, and he just kept saying no. He just, the car dealer kept coming back and being like, oh, we'll do it for this much, and he just kept saying no, and eventually he got them down to the price that he wanted. And that's kind of popping into my head here, where it's all you have to say is no if you're buying something expensive or whatever. And, I really feel you could be making some deals, or that you should be, or you should be looking for better deals on the things that you're purchasing just to be resourceful. You have the Nine of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. Nine of Swords, again, is a never-ending nightmare or a round situation. It's kind of funny because I feel the Page of Swords is looking over at the Two of Cups, and it's almost like you are looking at a situation, maybe with a person, and you're trying to decide, is this going to be the Two of Cups, or is this going to be the Nine of Swords? Am I just going to be repeating a mistake again? And, really there is no good answer, because the only way for you to find out is for you to actually do it, to do this thing over here, the Two of Cups. And it doesn't have to be love, by the way. This could be whatever your higher self is guiding you to do. And so I feel the Page of Swords is saying, take the risk. And here you go. You have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups, he is spoiled for choice, and you have that options card in your last row. But the Seven of Cups, he's imagining, good things and bad things in these cups. But until he manifests that dream down on earth, he has no idea how things are going to turn out. He needs to bring that dream down to earth so that he can find out how things are going to go. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Hermit. Yes, I think you've been a hermit. So I'm totally calling you out here, Cancer. I feel like you've been in hermit mode, and maybe you've been more withdrawn. It's time to come out. It's time to get out into the world and open up, right? I also think that, the Nine of Swords could be a fear of learning a lesson. Hermit is a dark night of the soul. And I feel that the Hermit is saying it's time for you to get out into the world, in the sense that it's time for you to realize that you learned all the lessons from the dark night of the soul, so you're not going to repeat it. Whatever it is that you're fearing that you're going to repeat here. With the Page of Swords, you have the Four of Swords. Yeah, I mean, good time. Mercury retrograde, there's no rush on, being with a person during Mercury retrograde. Don't rush, for sure. But also, Mercury retrograde is a great time to do some of that, like, introspective healing. It's a great time to, examine your emotions and, really work on those inner things. And so maybe this month, the whole entire month, even though this is a weekly reading, the whole month I think would be a good time of, we're talking about August, obviously, would be a good time to heal. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Empress. The Empress is a lot of abundance and success coming in for you. Clearly, you have a lot of options with the Seven of Cups in the options card, and I feel that you just need to be open to those options. But, like I said, I think that you are attracting a lot of abundance. Next, in the area of the good stuff, here you go. You have a Swan Spirit says, time for a deep dive. You have a Fox Spirit says, think on your feet. Yeah, I think that there are... I like I was saying about buying something that's like less expensive or getting a deal. I think the Fox Spirit is really saying it would be a great month for you. And I know this is a weekly reading, but I feel like this has to do with the whole entire month. I think it would be a great month for you to like really kind of like look for good deals. And the fox is about like cunning and stealth as well, kind of like the wolf or the I don't know. I made that up in my head. The funny thing is that there's a wolf card in this deck and it says cunning in stealth. And for some reason I thought you had it and you don't. So that's super interesting. But, again, I think that, just looking for deals is a good idea. But this could also be other things as well. It could say there's a better idea to, execute on your dream or do whatever you're trying to do. The Swan Spirit, again, obviously with Mercury retrograde, I think it's a great time to explore your emotions. You have the Five of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Chariot. In the good stuff, the Five of Wands would represent going on adventure. So would the Knight of Wands in the Chariot would represent going on an adventure. But in the good stuff, the Five of Wands kind of represents finding treasure or finding gold on your adventure. So again, there could be like, you could be doing something that feels a little adventurous or a little bit outside of what you would normally do, but it's probably going to lead to some treasure. You have the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands says go on the adventure, like I just said. The Knight of Wands also kind of says go with the flow. He's very spontaneous. He doesn't really care how he accomplishes something. He just wants to, he is willing to be spontaneous, meaning if he has to change direction or if he has to try something new or different, then he will do that. And I feel the Knight of Wands is saying like kind of like enjoy the journey, but definitely you could be going on some sort of new adventure. You have the Chariot. I feel like you're heading right towards a victory, clearly. I mean, this part here is really good. You have the Ace of Swords, the Chariot, the Empress, the Chariot again, and the Seven of Cups, your dream. So it seems to me like you are kind of like charging right at some sort of goal, wish, or dream. But let's see. That didn't work. Let's see what we get for you. With the Five of Wands, you have the Six of Pentacles. Plant those seeds. Six of Pentacles is about planting a seed, seeing what grows, seeing what doesn't, and doubling down on the good stuff. So I think that it will be worth it to take a tiny little step towards your dream or towards something you want. Could be a person, place, or a thing. Doesn't really matter, but I would do it. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Six of Wands. Yeah, success, victory, good things coming in for you. So I feel this is success after a difficult period of time as well. And with the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Wands is kind of like the struggle. The Six of Wands, the guy on the Six of Wands, he is being celebrated because he's come back from war. And so, he's been through something challenging and now he's getting the reward. And I kind of feel that's what the reading is saying. With the Chariot, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like you're getting something you worked for, whether you really worked for it or you did spiritual work on something or you fixed your emotions or you've been healing your emotions. I think you're getting, I think the Eight of Pentacles is just talking about the reward you're receiving for right here for all the challenges and difficulties that you have been through. And there you go. That's it. That's all I get, Cancer. Let's see. Cancer, you have this tiger. It says doing something risky or taking a chance. I feel like saying taking a leap of faith will be worth it. If you're taking some sort of risk or leap of faith, I feel that you are going to get like positive results. You have this wedge. It says someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. A lot of people have been getting this card this year. And so again, if you start talking to a new person and, their ex shows up and is like, oh my God, this person is a cheater or whatever, it's probably not true. It could be a liar. I also feel for some of you, it's like you could have someone in your life right now that is like saying, oh, don't date that person, or, don't go for that person or whatever. But it's like, I feel like they just are trying to limit you. So again, I would be careful if someone is telling you not to do something. It doesn't have to be love either. You could have a person that's like, oh, it's risky to, start a business, or it's risky to do this, that, or the other thing. And, again, what I would say is those people never get anywhere. Trust me, as someone who's had a business since he was 16 years old, I cannot tell you how many people have told me like, oh, it's risky, it's this, it's that, and it really wasn't. So, there you go. You have this throne card that says position of authority. I feel like some of you could be attracting an authority figure into your life, or a person who has like a leadership position. You have this dog card. It says protection from a powerful friend. So I would be careful of, I would, spend more time with the people who are protecting you. I always say, people always ask me like, what advice do you listen to? And I always say like, there are like basically two types of advice. There's fear and growth and love, and the good advice over here. And it's like, so people that you shouldn't listen to come from a place of fear for the most part. The people you should listen to come from a place of growth, abundance, love, the positive energy. So if we really like slow down and we listen to the advice we're receiving from anyone, if it comes from that place of growth, love, and abundance, then that is probably the advice you should take. You have this forest. It says muddled, unclear thinking. I think you just need to make a move here, Cancer. And, I feel like it's saying once you make a decision on the Seven of Cups, whatever the dream is, that's when the clarity will come in. But yeah, pretty good here, Cancer. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.